that was their boundary. So even though you had all the differences, but you can't show any differences because this was an illegal operation they were doing it. So if they have any differences, that will flare up and they'll get into trouble. But the journey continues for rather than 3 days. There were lots of problems and everything. And the journey continues for about 2 to 3 years. So that's the time this human facts comes, because even though they come from different groups, for all this time, they have to live in a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment certain times, all together. And the book is all about that. So every time every character, they go to their past and they try to forget their past to go ahead, but then they struggle all the time.
All the time.
All the time. Then in one of the border crossing, it has actually happened as well. A lot of people died on border crossing. There was one guy and he was frozen to death. And I have seen in Romania, when I was working in the Romanian hospital, that's the first time I met Sri Lankan people in Romania. And there were a few girls being brought to Romanian hospitals because they had frostbites. You know what's a frostbite? When you walk in the snow for a long time, your legs become frozen. So they die. They die, and I have to chop that bit off. So so these all happened during that time, people who are fleeing from the country. So this is all their personal stories, and I put them into the whole one book and wrote about it.
Okay, sir. Like, what were their viewpoints about the war itself, sir?
Individual characters, right?
Well, war is different to everyone, right? Everybody faced the war, but they faced it different. A person from Colombo who had a comfortable life, maybe he's from a majority, like if it's a Sinhalese person or even a Muslim person, he would have felt the war in a different way than to a person who was in Jaffna or Batikalo, who was immediately affected by the war. Like if anybody's, like if a military person, for example, let's say a military person's family would feel the war more stronger than a normal Sinhalese person. Because if the military person got injured or killed, it becomes quite personal for them.
Yeah, it does.
It is exactly the same for the other side. You know, the groups who are fighting to separate the country. And for them, most of the time, their family is being affected. Is one of the girl in major character here called Malar. Malar's family, Malar was about 8-9 years old when the military raid came overnight and they bombed the whole area, and she wakes up in the morning following day with the house burnt, parents dead, and she was one of the few survivors in that area. So what happens to Malar is she had no choice here. So, and in the late afternoon, then the LTT, the separate groups, they send their cadres to look for the survivors, and they find the small girl and they take her to the camp, and where she is once there, and that becomes her life. So what would you imagine? A person who had lost all the family, who had never seen a Sinhalese or a government person, she would always hate that person, right? Absolutely. And that fraction of that side. So in Malar's character, I write exactly what she feels. On the other hand, when I write about a military character, Roshan, major character, he was working for STF, and I go through whatever he went through. I met Roshan in Romania when I was a student. So he told me exactly what happened and everything. So when he joined the forces, he was quite neutral. But when he saw the calamities he saw in the south, it was in the Vanni area, where the whole village been massacred by the separate group, and he was one of the first military person to reach there. So he had this trauma in his head. So he wanted to take revenge. again and again. So it was him. So I talk about the Roshan, exactly how he feels it. And there is a third character, Mohiddin. He is a Muslim person. He is not directly involved with the war, but once the separatist group decided to chase all the Muslims out of north and east, he had to lose all his family and all his belongings, and they left with 100 rupees in their hands. And overnight they became refugees. So now his emotions are completely different, isn't it? And he feels hatred for both sides.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes.
This war is more complex than we think. The war, nobody wins a war.
Yeah,
generally.
certainly.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
every war is lost. There's a lot of people lost. There are a lot of wealth is lost. There's only a few people benefit from war.
Absolutely.
So the book is
So that's
basically
what-
about that, the journey they go through, but that their tragedies doesn't stop there. Just follow them
Follows through.
throughout their journey. They lose their friends. They lose. Well, they all become friends after some times, and they lose them. Then somebody has some of them get caught. They had to be deported back to the country. Then they have to serve prison, and all these things, and only a few of them survive to the end of the journey.
Exactly. Sir.
So a freedom
Absolutely.
sought for these people was a tough freedom, and it was not easy.
Yes, sir.
That's the thing. These are the sort of stories that I love when it comes to a movie, TV series, or even a book. When there's a multi-layer, if a character is not two-dimensional,
It's still
there's
heartbreaking, sir. It's still heartbreaking.
It's still heartbreaking. That's the
It,
thing
all,
for everybody.
exactly. It's a true story. So it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
If you know about Mr. Dharmasiri Bandaranaike, he's one of the famous Sri Lankan film producers. He has produced lots of films in 1970s and 80s.
Okay.
He read my book and he wanted to make a film out of it.
Oh.
So
wow.
I've been talking for a while, but in Sri Lanka it's very difficult to get that kind of finance, because the book happens in Sri Lanka in the Vanni, then it happens in the south in the Colombo, then it
Okay.
happens in the lot in Russia, the Russian border
Russia too?
crossing. They go to Russia. The first journey is through Russia.
Okay.
Then they stay in Russia for a year or so. Then they have to cross the borders from Russia to Ukraine, from Ukraine to Romania. So these area, then in Romania they get stuck. Then in Hungary they get stuck. So it's quite expensive film to shoot. So
Yeah.
so still we're waiting. So
It certainly is.
Yeah, and if you think about the actors and all, you need to get like European actors. Then you need to get
exactly, yes.
called the permits and all. So it's
Permits,
there's a lot of finance,
yeah.
a lot of financing and logistics behind it. But I'm really looking forward. if it ever gets,
Yes,
if it ever
hopefully
gets produced one day. But in the meantime, I would love to read the book. So, Doctor, where can we order the book or have a look at it?
Well, in Amazon, in Kindle, you can download them. That's the easiest way. Otherwise, we have some books. We finished selling all the books in Sri Lanka, in UK, because we have books in Sri Lanka, but we can't bring them because of this COVID, and the flights are restricted and all the stuff. But we still have books in Sri Lanka. Like if anybody wants, you could leave a message under my YouTube channel or with you guys, and you could
we'll link everything.
You could send them, and of course we can post books in Sri Lanka. And I have earned enough money from the book, and I'm not expecting any money. If anybody would love to read,
it's not about the money, sir. It's all about the stories they have, sir. Seriously.
Exactly.
And
the stories
bring out from books,
that's invaluable.
Yeah,
I think it's priceless. These
stories,
especially for our generation or the generation below us who didn't go through the war. So
I would go through the book, but I think then if I say whole about the book, then you would lose the interest of reading it.
Interest. I was about to say it.
I just condensed a little idea about it.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
It's certainly.
So how long did it take to? We have a question.
Write it down.
Yeah.
Well, that was actually my second book, but this is the first
Second,
book I
alright.
worked myself alone. So it took me 5 years to write.
5 years
5
to write
years.
it.
5 years
Yeah.
to write. So the books take so long
Yeah.
because you cannot sit down and write a book, and you have to have the right mood, and that comes once in 2-3 months. But anyway, I was working full time as well, so
Okay.
I have to
Oh, yeah.
cope up with my work as well. So yes, yeah, it's exactly took 5 years, and then I
5
said the
years to write a
second book
book.
yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, sir.
Damn.
And I have written about 2 times, 3 times, then I have edited it, then I have edited. Yeah, in the end, I brought it forward. Yes, we had to do it because I have participated. Is it 2016? I think. Yeah, I have participated in a charity walk. We walked from north of Sri Lanka, from the northern tip to the south. It's called the Trail Walk. So I
Okay.
participated with them. So we walked the whole length of country. So
Oh,
that's the
wow.
time the people who walked with me, there were 32 of us who walked the whole length. And they said, you have to release this book. It's because I kept talking to them. So we started publishing when we were in Jaffna. So by the time we reached Colombo walking,
Yeah.
the book was ready. So we published in Goldface.
Okay.
The first copy was given to Mahela Jayawardena. He walked with us.
Oh,
Oh,
Yes.
damn.
So then we gave all the copies to the people who worked there. So it was published in Goldface. In Goldface, we had 150,000 people, I think, that day. It's a huge amount of people gathered that day.
My.
Yeah.
Damn. And this event was just for the book, or was it like a
No,
mainstream?
it was for a cancer charity called the
cancer
Trail.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
trail.
about
Yeah.
10 years. Yeah, 10 years ago, they walked from the south. That's immediately after the war. 2 friends, Nathan and Sarinda, they were working in mainstream companies in Colombo. And after the war, they were thinking they want to do something different. So overnight, they thought, wait, well, we don't have a cancer hospital in Jaffna. So
Yeah.
let's raise some money. And that's the time they thought, okay, we're going to walk from the south to north, and let's see how much money we collect. If we collect enough money, we will start building a hospital. So 2 of people started this walk, and they were amazed to see how many people joined with them, and the media supported them. So by the time they reached Jaffna, they had collected enough money to build a hospital.
How many people
So
did
they
join
built
the
Wow.
trial itself?
a hospital, a cancer hospital in Telipalai.
Okay.
So that was, and after 5 years, they thought, okay, let's do the walk in reverse, and we walk to south and collect enough money so we could build a hospital in Matara or somewhere. So
Okay.
a cancer hospital, because we had only one cancer hospital in Sri Lanka. It was in
Yes.
Colombo, Maharagama.
Maharagama, we had that.
So that's the time I heard about this walk, because when I was in one of the parties in UK, and Sarinda, Nathan, and Kumar Sangakkara, they all came on a promotion tour, and they talked in our meeting that they're going to do this walk, and I said, I'm coming. So that's how I joined. And well, in this walk, we collected lots of money on the street, and we have raised 4.2 million US dollars.
4.2 million US dollars.
4.2 million US dollars we collected.
Okay.
And of course, then from some well-wishers, we made it to 5, and the government put 6 million.
6
so
million
for
together.
11, yeah, government put 6 million, we collected 5 million. So 11 million, they started building the hospital. So it's built along the Karapitia, Goal Hospital. They're building this separate cancer hospital there.
Oh, that's absolutely
So it's been
fantastic,
built now.
yeah.
So it's been built still. Still
Yeah,
building
it is.
Still, but okay.
Wow, sir. Wow,
this,
what an experience.
This walk,
this that was an amazing experience.
Like how long did the walk take? It must have taken like months,
we
right?
walked 28 days.
28 days.
It was 600 odd kilometers, 670 kilometers, I think. We used to walk about 20 to 30 kilometers a day, basically.
Oh, so where do you stay for the night?
So we would start from one point to the on the track we would walk, start from one point to the next point. From that point, a vehicle will collect us and put us in a hotel. The following day they'll bring us back and put in the same place, and you start walking further down. So that's how we. So we stayed in a few hotels in different areas throughout, and a few vehicles followed us, and it was food and amazing. There was a huge support from the public, and it was one point just before Anuradhapura. There was a beggar. He was just outside a temple. He was begging. He didn't even have legs or something.
Okay.
Yeah. So while we reached there by 11 o'clock, we were walking, and he heard that this is a charity, and he gave all the money he had to the charity.
Wow.
What
a every penny he had.
What a selfless act. Wow.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
That's amazing. The children would come running, with all the collections they had in their till, and they would just give the till to the charity. And it was, it was a great experience.
Damn, sir.
Then Ratish, we gotta do this. We gotta do this one. It sounds
you guys
fun.
should organize. Yeah.
We should organize. Colin.
It's definitely amazing, sir. The thing you have done, sir. Clearly, like
the experience, and on top of that, like the end cause of it, right?
The cause of it.
Exactly. This is my motive, we live here for a short time in this world. So what remains with you, basically your memories.
Yeah.
You don't carry forward anything else except your good memories. So my target is at least every 5 years to have a major big memory like this, to achieve something, do something. So you collect these memories at least probably when I'm really old, and I could just sit down and think, okay, I've done this.
And think of it, sir. Like we seriously bring on memories, sir. That's it, clearly, sir. At the end of the ages, we just seriously bring on memories.
Yeah, last year we're supposed to cycle around Sri Lanka. It's called cycle around the Pearl. The Pearl. They usually do it during the Sinhala Avrudu time.
Okay.
During the April. So I have joined with them. So this is a charity. They supply wheelchairs for these kids who can't walk. So cerebral palsy charity. So I have joined with them. So we were preparing for 1.5 years to get ready for this cycling event, 1,200 kilometers in 10 days.
In 10 days.
The COVID, COVID came just 1 week before, so we couldn't come.
That's unfortunate.
That's exactly.
Yeah, but hopefully we can do it next year. Maybe
next year. That's what
next year.
I'm going to invite you guys and all your viewers.
Yeah. Could we join too, like for cycling?
Yes, anybody can join. Yeah.
Oh my, we gotta buy a bike now.
I want to buy a bike. gotta go buy a bike.
So, yes, I won't be buying a mic. I'll be buying a bike. The mic's gotta wait. Wow. That's actually great advice.
Yeah.
The advice. I'm talking about the 5-year thing. Have a good memory every 5 years.
Every 5 years.
Like
every 5 years. A major outbreak.
Because me and Ratish, we're just starting our we're starting our life, like our adult life right now, right?
Yeah.
So I think this is great advice for us as well. Having a great, establishing a great memory every 5 years would be
every 5 years. Yes. You can always do. You can always organize. Even a walk.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Why can't you walk?
Yeah, organize.
Walk from Colombo to Jaffna. Amazing walk. Yeah.
I don't mind walking. It's the rain that I don't like. If it rains, then
rain, sun. You just keep walking.
Rain, sun.
You just keep walking.
Just keep walking. It's gotta keep walking. It's the memories. It's the memories at the end of the day.
The memories, that's what remains with you. Yeah,
that's what remains.
That's why before I go mental, I wanted to write about my book. Everything I had, all the stories I heard from these people, I wanted to put in paper,
put it out,
so it will remain for years and years. People could read what happened. Otherwise, stories get forgotten if you don't tell them.
Yeah.
If you don't tell them, certainly.
Yeah.
So I have a question based on
Thank you.
I
For
have
being
one more
here right
question.
now, sir.
we have one more
Thank you
question
very
for
much.
for the book thing. So how do you find a publisher and all? So what's the process of
Publisher,
finding a
well,
publisher?
it's very, very difficult job to find publishers in these days. They want everything to be done. So in the end, what I have done, I've tried in the UK, but anyways, the interest is different. And the other thing is my English is my second language. I'm not a native English speaker.
Oh yeah.
So there was a bit of flaw in the language, but my idea was I wanted to get the message. It doesn't matter how you tell it.
Yeah.
The story is told. It doesn't matter what language you say.
Yeah.
If the other person can understand the story, that's what matters.
Exactly.
And I was very persistent on that. And I said, I want to keep my book as I wrote it, and I want to say it the way I want to say it, because that's my story. But it was, it was very good. A lot of people enjoyed it. And then what I did, I found a small printer in Kandy, a printing place, and I asked them how much it costs. So it was not very much, about 200,000 rupees or something like that. So I said, fine, I'll pay it from my pocket. I'll publish it.
You published it by yourself?
Yeah. Yeah, myself,
Oh, okay.
How much did it cost?
It's about 200,000, I think.
$200,000?
Yeah. No, not rupees. Sri Lankan rupees.
Sri Lankan rupees.
2 lakhs.
Yeah.
Still,
I was a bit damned about.
Yeah, you thought it was dollars?
I thought it was dollars.
Yeah, that'll be quite a lot. Yeah. That's the thing. Wow. But we gotta write a book as well now.
Yes.
Hopefully we can collect some memories.
Seriously, do everything we can.
Yeah, you guys are in prime of life. You should always look for these opportunities.
Yeah.
So it's really, really important.
Exactly, sir.
That's the thing. So I guess that's the message of today's podcast. Collect your memories. Treasure your memories.
Thank you, sir, for being here right now.
Thank you so much.
Truly amazing.
Thank you very much.
Thank
you very much for asking all these questions, bringing my memories back. It was sedimented somewhere along. I had to dig it out. Yes.
Yeah, the stories are absolutely fantastic. Yeah.
It was an
hopefully we can
experience for us itself, sir.
Yeah.
So definitely, yes.
Thank you.
Hopefully we can. Yeah, hopefully we can invite you for future episodes as well. I think
we would love to, sir. We would love to.
Yeah, we would love to.
Yes, of course. If the people are interested in listening to different stories, why not? Be fine.
Yeah.
I'll be happy to talk to them. Yes. This is the only way we could pass our ideas and information to other people.
No, yeah.
Exactly.
Knowledge and all. Absolutely.
Exactly.
So yeah.
So yes.
Sorry, Atish.
Thank you, viewers, and thank you, sir.
Again, thank you,
dear guest.
Thank you.
Do whatever you can, like, subscribe, comment right now itself.
Yeah.
So, signing off. Cool.
Signing off.